What does an initial consultation look like at Marcellus Law? Ideally, you would want to come in with some paperwork and a court case listed so that we can discuss what your options are in full based on the court case that's coming up. I will review the paperwork and make note of all the evidence in the prosecution case that is against you, and I will advise you as to your options then. There are essentially two courses that you can take based on the evidence there. You can either plead guilty to the charges that are listed, or you can plead not guilty. What you choose will depend on multiple things, multiple factors that are discussed at this initial consultation. The first is, of course, my advice as to the strength of evidence. If I advise that the evidence is too strong, you may want to consider a guilty plea and go down that particular pathway. There might be some other reasons why you might consider that, and one of the most pressing reasons to every single one of my clients, especially for private paying clients, after all, they are engaging a private lawyer, is that they will have to spend money on the hearings. A guilty plea will essentially take one or potentially two hearings if it needs to be adjourned for a sentencing hearing. That means it's a lot more cost effective. And therein lies some insight as to why it is that a lot of people do plead guilty in the magistrate's court or even at the county court. It's just a lot more cost effective. Not guilty pleas will of course entail higher costs because there are more stages. You'll have the mention stage, you'll have the contest mention, you'll have a contested hearing in the magistrate's court, and county court and Supreme Court matters are incredibly blown out and can cost almost $100,000 or around $100,000 if you are to take the matter to a trial. Oftentimes, with the seriousness of the charges, it's certainly worth contesting, but with magistrates court matters specifically, there are those stages that you have to consider. There may likely be barristers involved at the contested hearing, and there will be additional costs there. But if it is of utmost importance to you to avoid any criminal charges, to avoid a criminal record, to avoid any convictions, to avoid even going to jail for a lengthy period of time, which is very possible with a lot of charges in the magistrate's court, and may be well worth spending your money there. I will be very frank and honest with you about whether it is worth it, whether you can based on the evidence that's there, and what other options lie for resolution to achieve the purposes that you're after. That's the point of strategy. That is why you speak to a lawyer initially. It's not just about, can you get me off? What's your win rate? How much can you push to have the charges withdrawn? This is not TV, guys. It's not Harvey Specter. We're not on Suits here. You're here to talk about the practical situation of the law. You want a strategy from a well-informed lawyer who knows exactly what they're doing. You want full transparency immediately at the outset. You come to Marcellus Law, everything will be above board and on the table.